Hi and welcome to ECCB Connects. This week we'll be discussing an option that will soon be available to small, micro and medium-sized enterprises operating in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union to access financing. Stay with us, we'll continue in a moment.
When the ECCB took the bold step to introduce Dcash, the people of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union were at the heart of this decision.
It's about creating opportunities.
It's about connecting family.
It's about linking friends.
It's about changing the way we do business.
It's about transforming lives.
A journey to a place where none have gone before will not be without its challenges.
But challenges will not deter us from our goal. It's about me.
It's about you.
It's about all of us.
So join us and let's make history together.
Thanks for staying connected with us. I have with me Chief Executive Officer of the Eastern Caribbean Securities Regulatory Commission, Alousia Faisal, and President and CEO of DevSolutions Consulting, Dr. Winsome Leslie. Alousia, Dr. Leslie, welcome to ECCB Connects.
Thank you so much.
Now, the Eastern Caribbean Securities Regulatory Commission is collaborating with the Caribbean Development Bank for a project titled Increasing Access to Finance for Micro, Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union through the development of a crowdfunding framework. Quite a mouthful, but let's look at crowdfunding first. What does this mean? Dr. Leslie.
Crowdfunding is exactly what it sounds like. It's raising money for your business from the crowd, from the public, through the internet, using a platform. Some of you might have heard of some of these platforms here in the US, such as Kickstarter or GoFundMe. So it's really a way of raising money for your business that's relatively simple in the sense that anyone can participate in this kind of program. There are several kinds of crowdfunding. You can raise money in exchange for a reward, such as free cosmetics if you're a cosmetics company, or you can raise money in exchange for ownership in your company through shares or stocks.
In the context of this particular project that is designed to support our region's small, micro, and medium-sized enterprises, what type of crowdfunding is being offered?
Well, in this case, this particular project is focusing on equity crowdfunding, which means that we're encouraging companies to participate and offer shares in their company.
In our region, of course, while access to finance continues to be a challenge for small businesses, there are options, one of them being the Eastern Caribbean Partial Credit Guarantee Corporation. So that's an option for small businesses. But now we're having another option, crowdfunding. Why the need for this type of funding at this time, Alousia?
The Eastern Caribbean Securities Regulatory Commission is the regulator for the capital markets in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. And one of the mandates of the ECSRC is market development. And with that mandate, the Commission decided to look at the needs of the populace and the market. And coming off the 2020, the pandemic in 2020, we recognized that there was a need for small businesses to be able to access finance. And that need was exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic. So the Commission, as it's using its mandate of market development, decided that it should try to implement some sort of mechanism whereby small businesses would be able to access some level of finance through the capital markets to support their business operations.
This project has 3 broad components. Take us through each one.
The first of those components is the validation of the draft crowdfunding policy framework that has been developed by the ECSRC. And what that entails really is that the Commission has developed rules by which the crowdfunding activities could be undertaken in our jurisdiction. And under the project, we will be receiving technical assistance to review those rules to make sure that they are applicable and appropriate for use in the jurisdiction. The second aspect of the project involves the sensitization of crowdfunding stakeholders. And what we mean by that is that we will be telling persons about crowdfunding, what it is about, and also providing training for various stakeholders. The third aspect is testing crowdfunding platforms through an ECSRC regulatory sandbox. Essentially, what that aims to do is to allow the ECSRC to have a sort of a supervisory watch over companies that are providing or facilitating the crowdfunding activity, to ensure that everything is being done in a prudent manner. And also we can then look at how the operations are going as against the rules that we've implemented, to see whether there needs to be any changes that should be made to those rules or to the framework, all in an effort to make sure that we keep investors safe and we maintain that level of confidence that we have in our securities market.
Is there a cap on the amount of funding that a business can access through this crowdfunding project?
So all of these types of issues are included in the crowdfunding rules that we've developed, and the rules will be part of our stakeholder consultation. So we will give the public and persons, the stakeholders, an opportunity to tell us or to speak about those types of issues while we develop those rules. So there will be limits, but of course, the limits will be imposed based on consultation with our stakeholders.
Let's take a closer look at the sensitization session. Of course, this is a very important component because, as you said, crowdfunding is pretty new to our region, and of course, our small businesses will need to know about it so that they can determine if they should be involved. So you have this session coming up. How can small business owners get involved?
We're looking specifically at the week of September 26th. We've developed a website for the project. And of course, as you can imagine, the success of this project really stands on buy-in from all stakeholders, the companies that will want to raise money on the platform or platforms that are developed. Second, the public who will be interested in investing in these companies, right? And also investment advisors who have clients who might want to invest. So we're putting a heavy emphasis on the stakeholder consultation process. And folks can now go online and register their interest in the project. Based on that level of interest, we've decided that we will segment several distinct groups of stakeholders. So we'll have entrepreneurs and private sector organizations together, for example, in one session. We'll have investors and investment advisors in another session. We'll have regionals in another session, because of course, regional organizations are also important in the buy-in process. And last but not least, we're going to focus on government institutions across the ECCU countries, particularly the ministers of finance, whose views on this project will be very important.
Right, so you have a wide range of stakeholders. I see this as an investment opportunity for the regular citizen. Is this the case?
Correct. I think one of the beauty of crowdfunding and equity crowdfunding specifically is that it democratizes access to finance and access to investment on both sides, both on the part of the business person who wants funding and the ordinary person who has a little bit of money and might want to take bets on a new or early stage company because they're interested in it and they want to earn a higher return than they would, say, with a savings account.
So sort of growing their wealth.
Right. I think it's a win-win on both sides. And certainly I think this project could be a game changer for the ECCU region.
Okay, let's backtrack a bit. This project, Access to Finance for Micro, Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises in the ECCU through the development of a crowdfunding framework. What do you expect to achieve at the end of this project? I know the project runs until June 2023.
We've developed several performance indicators that we will be seeking to achieve as part of the success of the project. And these include raising awareness for at least 300 stakeholders, training at least 150 entrepreneurs in equity investing and crowdfunding. And of that 150 entrepreneurs, we're hoping that at least 30% would be women, at least 75 prospective investors trained in crowdfunding and equity investing, and as well as investment advisors, at least 5. The numbers are small, but we're in a small jurisdiction. And so we're starting, very small at first, and we're hoping that as the project progresses over the months, that there will be more interest and that at least more persons will be able to get training in and an understanding of crowdfunding and how they can participate as part of the project.
Dr. Leslie, as we mentioned earlier, crowdfunding is pretty new to our region. It's not new worldwide, but new to the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. And Gail mentioned a number of stakeholders are involved in this particular project. The process of crowdfunding and getting involved in equity crowdfunding, what does that process look like? What does it entail?
Well, from the point of view of the business owner, it's not simply just setting a target for the amount of money you want to raise and then going on a platform and posting something. It's a process. You have to prepare what's called a campaign, which means you have to do a little video about your company. You have to produce financials with an accountant to show growth, how you will grow from where you are now to say 1 year, 3 year, 5 year growth. And so you have to tell a story, a very compelling story about your business to encourage whoever to invest. And let me just say that an important aspect of this project is also to attract investors from the diaspora to invest back in the ECCU, right? So you really have a broad audience, potential audience for investment. But that being said, like most things in life, you have to prepare. So there's preparation involved in putting this campaign together to make sure that investors will want to invest in your company.
You're at a critical juncture of this project because the project cannot exist on its own. It needs the participants to be involved. So you're looking at entrepreneurs, and you did mention with a special emphasis on women. You have investors. For this group that you're targeting, you also mentioned government and regional organizations. What word do you have for them in terms of encouraging them to be a part of this exciting project?
It is a potential game changer in our region. And so I would want to encourage the governments to encourage, especially those ministries where, in addition to Ministry of Finance, in those ministries that are responsible or have some level of involvement with private sector organizations and small businesses, to encourage their members to come and learn about crowdfunding and to participate, to understand what equity investing is all about and what it means to give a part or to sell shares in their business. For us in the Commission, I think the long-term vision that we see from this project is eventually what would really stand out for us is if we can have a small business starting out as part of the crowdfunding project, eventually over a period of time, graduating to the full-scale ECSE and being listed on the ECSE.
Dr. Leslie, you have been involved in providing guidance to small, medium, and medium-sized enterprises in terms of funding options. For this crowdfunding project, what is the word that you have for our region's small business operators?
Well, first of all, I'd encourage everyone to investigate this as an option, because up to this point, we've only had a very narrow list of things where you can actually raise funds. Either you're going to get a bank loan, or you're going to get a grant, or you're going to rely on friends and family, by and large, if you're a new company just starting out. The beauty of crowdfunding is that you can be a startup, and if you have a compelling story, you can actually attract funding from a larger crowd. It'll be small amounts of money, yes, but as I say, every penny counts. So when you put together all those small $100 here and there, you can actually get a quite sizable amount of money for your business. But having said that, you have to do your homework. You have to rely on experts such as accountants and lawyers to put together a compelling campaign to convince investors or the public generally to participate. Investigate this project. We're excited about it. I think it has the potential to be a game changer for the region, to be a different model for equity investing compared to, say, what's going on in Jamaica, for example. So I would encourage all entrepreneurs to at least investigate to see whether this would be appropriate for them.
Okay, as we wrap up, just remind the audience again of the upcoming event on the 26th of September. How do they get involved?
The first session starts on 26th. Go to the website, register your interest, and then based on whether you're an entrepreneur, an investor, etc., we will match you with the appropriate session. So it'll be sessions all week, that week, starting on the 26th.
Alousia, Dr. Leslie, thank you very much for speaking with us on ECCB Connects, and all the best with this project.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And now for this week's financial tip.
Make a consistent allocation to an emergency fund. This will serve you as a buffer during financial hardship. It is recommended that you have an emergency fund of at least 3 times your monthly salary or income.
We've come to the end of this week's episode of ECCB Connects. In this program, we discuss the collaboration between the Eastern Caribbean Securities Regulatory Commission and the Caribbean Development Bank to provide equity crowdfunding to small, micro, and medium-sized enterprises operating in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. Business owners and people interested in looking for an investment opportunity are invited to participate in this project. To register your interests in this venture and obtain more information, visit www.ECSRCcrowdfunding.com. Thanks for watching, and we invite you to join us again next week for another program.